me a power of vivekhyati, which is the ability to diagnose and discriminate. Diagnosis and discrimination is a very important quality to have. So first thing first, you have to diagnose, what do I know? And it's not that I'm against information. Information can be used. But at least you would not be reactive if other people's information is not exactly like your information. Right? Because everybody has the information. So it's an information. It's not a big deal. You can call it lamp, and I can call it anything else. Would you be upset? Or why would you not be upset? Because you know this is just an information. The most mankind are getting upset in the world, and all these chaos is taking place because they have considered information as their knowledge. If they would have considered information as information, they would not fight. All religious scriptures are information, including Vedanta. But Vedanta will, apart from giving you information, it will provide an impetus to find some kind of a realization. Fear of death is the foundation. No matter what kind of a fear that you experience, it doesn't matter what kind of a fear you experience. All fears is a fear of death. And what is fear of death? Fear of unknown. Because nobody can say, I have experienced death. I'm not talking about NDE. Still, it's a near-death experience. Okay? It's not a death experience. There is a difference between near-death experience and a death experience.
Just a little.
Yeah.
What I miss, what I missing.
Yeah. So, only yogis can experience death. Because they are vigilant. They are vigilant all the time. That's why they become vigilant during the dream. They don't sleep. A yogi is who never sleeps. Not even in the awake state where most of people think that they are awake, but also in a dream state he's awake. So most of their dreams are a lucid dreaming. So they can be aware even in a higher state. A mystic can only be recognized by their awareness, their vigilance. So there are two more reasons that happens and for our suffering. There are 5 main reasons for our sufferings. We counted 3, right?
I got 2.
So the first is ignorance,
Identification.
and then
Identification,
fear.
Oh, fear.
The third is called attachment. Because of this, the false ego, we have a tendency to cling the things. That is attachment. And why do we cling things? Again, because of fear. If fear would not be there, we would not be clinging on things. We have a fear that I'm going to lose it. Pay attention that how many times fear plays our significant role in our mind for our attachments in our lives. You're attached to your body. Why?
Afraid of dying.
Afraid of dying, afraid of losing your youth, afraid of losing your health. There are so much fear playing, so you are so attached. And with that attachment, you really never ever experience things. How can you experience things when you have a fear in your mind? It cannot be experienced. Attachment is like taking this piece of paper and taking this clothes. I am so attached. You don't experience your spouse. You don't experience your families. You don't experience your friends. You don't experience your meals. You don't experience anything because you are so attached, so clinging to it. If you get out from this clingingness, you'll be amazed at how great that experience will be. Even eating a meal, when you take a meal and take a bite and you taste it, and it's such an awesome experience. You take a sip of water, it is such an awesome experience. You put a hot shower or a cold shower on your body, it is such an awesome experience. You're touching an animal, it is such an awesome experience if you just come out from your emotional level. But we are so attached, and fear plays such a significant role. We lose the beauty in our daily lives. And if you lose the beauty from your daily lives, you can never attain the bigger beauty. Because the bigger beauty is made of tiny drops of our daily experiences. So everything which we do is a meditation. And it is impossible if fear is prevailing in your mind. So the attachment is easier to see, right? It's easier to see attachment, but the other one is harder to see. Non-attachment.
Is it the fifth one?
Fifth one. These are the 5 reasons that mankind continues to suffer. There's only one answer. These 5 reasons are of a nightmare experience. And what is the answer of getting out of nightmare? Yeah, awakening. So realization who I am is the only answer. You don't have to fight with nightmare. If you fight with nightmare, what is going to happen? It will become stronger and bigger and worse. You cannot fight with nightmare. You only have to start a process how to be awakened. So our answer is one. Awakening. Problem can be many. Disease can be many. But health has to one. Health has to be one. You can have different disease, he can have a different disease, she can have a different disease, I can have a different disease. All of us can have many different diseases, right? But can we have a different health? Can you, Denise, say I have a different health than Alok yours? Will that be a right statement? No. If you are healthy and I am healthy, our health matches. The definition of health matches. There's no different kind of health. Try to understand that. But yes, there are different kinds of diseases. So when we talk about varieties of the things, we are only talking about diseases. When we talk about unification, when we talk about integration, when we talk about synthesizing, we are talking about health. Health and whole is one thing. So the whole idea of Vedanta is one. It is called Advait Vedanta. And I want you to remember this word, Advait. Advatia. AD, D as in Delta. AD, V as in victory. AITA. Advait Vedanta.
So spell again. ADVI what?
ADVAITA. Advait. Advait means non-two. No two. What does that mean? If I say no two means what?
Non-binary.
One. Yes. So this is the idea of unification. As long as two exist, let me tell you one thing. Fear cannot be avoided. Fear is a result of two. Why? Because you and me. So I end here and you begin there. And it's terrifying. It's terrifying that when the boundaries exist. When you are part of the whole, what are you going to be fear of? If you are a whole, what is there to fear of? Only you fear of when you are not whole. So as long as two exist, you cannot avoid fear. So the purpose is how to rise above the dualities. And this can be explained in a negative manner only. Because if you say one, then the idea of two will come in your mind. You cannot avoid to have an idea of two when you say yes, one. So positively, you cannot describe it. If I want to talk about what is this cup, if you ask what is this cup, instead of saying that this is a cup, Vedanta use a technique which is called neti neti. Another important word. Neti neti means not this, not this. It's a very gentle and a very mature way of teaching. You know why? Because if I say to you that this is a cup, if you ask what is the cup, and I said this is a cup, then you are definitely going to ask in your mind, because there are so many other items on the desk, right? Your mind is going to ask why a lamp is not a cup, why a box is not a cup, why a candle is not a cup, why a paper is not a cup.
What is that?
So wait,
Can you
so
spell that?
teacher's job is, Vedantic's way says that you see this paper, this is not a cup. You see this lamp, this is not a cup. You see this box, this is not a cup. So they will go item by item, every item other than cup, and say these are not the cup. So whatever is left, it will be your experiential realization. Oh, this is cup. And you will have no questions left. It is a clear aspect of your mind clarity. So, in translating in a Vedantic language, is when you ask, who am I? Vedantic scriptures are never going to tell you who you are. It is only going to tell you what you are not. And what is left will be your, say it please, experience, realization. It will be your realization. And no question, no doubt will exist. When you have a realization that this is a cup, it is a clear that this is a cup. If I ask you, is this is a cup, and you say this is a cup, are you thinking that this is a cup, or you are clear that this is a cup? You need a coffee or something to wake up? So this is a cup, it is a clear, right? Thinking is only required when you are not clear. When you are clear, when you have realization, thinking is unnecessary. All thinking means questions. Thinkings are not a big deal. The goal is clarity. Remember, I'm not boycotting anything. I'm not boycotting feelings, I'm not boycotting thinking, but I'm just saying they have their placement. They have a use. But they are not the master of your soul.
So how do you spell that, whatever that word, expression or word that?
Nancy, Nancy.
Neti neti. N-E-T-I. N-E-T-I. Neti neti. Not this, not this.
So nutty pot is
No.
this pot?
No, no, no. Sanskrit is a very, we think English is very difficult language. Sanskrit is more confusing. A word can have 40 different meanings, depending on how it is being used. And remember, this is not a class about how much information you're going to get. This is a class about how much impetus you're going to get so that your life will dramatically change. So I'm not going to teach you Sanskrit here. I'm not going to talk about a traditional way of teaching Vedanta. This is why I want to record this class so it can go also on YouTube and most people can see, because if you Google Vedanta, you'll find such a boring lectures that you will have to puke. And I've really taken my fingers and did many times. No, just kidding. But the point is that they follow 10,000 years old tradition and they have not changed the way of translating it in 10,000 years. They exactly translate exactly the same way. They are parrots. And we don't want to do anything at any cost to be part of the herd mentality, whatever the price I have to pay. So it is on an intuitive basis, and even with Wade has taken it, he will find every class is going to be different than the last time. The discussion is going to be different entirely. So non-attachment is a harder